Okay, welcome back here to the 12 o'clock game. That's the Southeastern Spartans versus the Eastern Raiders. Joined for this game, I have got Mike Teagle. How are you, Mike?
I'm great, TJ. How are you today?
And I'm going really well. Second game in, and then I get a bit of reprieve this afternoon, get to sit back and relax. So
Yes.
We've got the pairs combination, and the Eastern Raiders bring in Chris Tholborn, a bit of a household name in South Australia. We know Scott, so Scott's the second best bowler in the family. He's got his mum.
But don't let him hear you say
I
that.
reckon you've probably heard that already. Of course, leading that team is Mitch Percy up against the Southeastern Spartans combination, which is
Daryl Stop and Vicky Arbon.
good comeback in, mate. Like the way you did that.
It's all butter, baby.
All right.
Yes, and
Remember, Mitch, we're going to sledge you.
of course today here at the Super League, it's Family Fun Day. If people
It is.
have got a bit of free time this afternoon and want to come down, there's a petting zoo for the kids and for the adults too if they
Well,
want to get in
actually-
with the alpaca.
As I said in the first game, now there's plenty of room in the petting zoo because Ben Harris has actually been forced to go out and play bowls, so he's no longer in the petting zoo, thankfully.
Yes, some big kids just can't handle keeping away from the animals. A few animals on the green in that first game too. The Northern Knights with a really good, strong performance.
Was actually a good game to commentate. They came back from behind and a really solid win by those guys.
And of course, for everyone watching at home on the live stream, we want to see your comments come through. We want to know who you're backing in this game.
It's Warren Fairjames. He opens up first. When does it start? There it is. As promised, there it is.
Yes. Welcome aboard, Warren.
It is 12:02 and we've been going for 30 seconds. We're not too bad on the timing.
Here
Please,
we go.
thank you for joining us and tuning in on this beautiful Sunday afternoon.
Yes, nice first bowl there. A little bit short, but she's going to have to work her line out fairly quickly.
Still a bit of room there to move.
That's going to take a lot of options away on the backhand sitting there, though. As our tent nearly disappears into Oz.
Yeah, well, might not be long until that the back of the tent gets removed for training and educational purposes. We did a game a couple of weeks ago where the whole thing picked up, table and everything.
That's okay, I don't mind a rough landing.
I was definitely not going to be short with this one.
Showing some definite intent.
That's a great improvement. Well
That
done.
is an
Well done, Vicky.
outstanding
Great
bowl by Vicky Arbon. She's got the shot, she's behind the kitty. What more can your skipper ask?
We can ask what he wants, I guess. But Vicky's definitely delivered on that one, so well done.
Skippers ask a lot of things and most bowlers don't listen.
I don't mind doing things for skippers when they can do it themselves.
You must play with different skippers to me.
Because not to be outdone, there we go. It's a great adjustment for
And
both
Adam
guys.
Wilson tuning in, go Darrell, he says. So he's definitely on that team. But yes, folks, please let us know who you're backing in this game. If you're a Spartans fan, tell us why. You may have an irrational fear of wooden horses. But please let us know who you're backing, show your pride, and get behind your team. Also, if you're from a bowling club, let us know where. We'll give them a shout out too.
And in the meantime, we'll even commentate some bowls.
If we have to.
Fair effort.
That's a very good comeback there. Great bowl. Still leaves them one down.
That's a really unique style that Mitch Percy's got. You always, if you're ever curious, people think, what do I do with my non-bowling hand? Mitch Percy, in that case, found a new use for it. I've never seen anyone do that with their hand before. And I think I'll let the viewers just watch the footage and I'll work out what Mitch just did then.
We won't describe it for you. You make up
No,
your
you're
own
gonna have
mind
to
as
see
to what
the
it is
picture,
because
what
we're
he's
not sure.
I don't really want to have a closer look.
He may have been signalling to you, I think.
I don't know about that, but yep. I would probably suggest the first end, trying to get accustomed to the surroundings and.
The different wind factor going from one side of the rink to the other also takes a little bit of getting used to here at Salisbury.
So, 1 to the Raiders.
Yes, good start for the Raiders there.
Open the ledger.
And we also should mention the sponsors of the Super League. West End have been very good to the Bowls SA Super League, and the City of Salisbury have gotten on board in a big way along with the Salisbury Bowling Club. Sports Centre have done a great job with these uniforms, which look pretty fantastic, don't they, TJ?
Yeah, they do. I think there's a lot of work, as we've said week in, week out, that have happened from a lot of individuals throughout, whether volunteers or paid or whatever else. It's the passion that you put into it that makes the difference.
Yes, it's a really vibrant atmosphere as well. The colours really make it interesting.
Each other. So it'll be interesting after the conclusion of round 5, which this is, how that ladder looks.
There'll be a lot of sideways glances from these teams just to see how the competition's faring.
Yep, demonstrating the value of why the bowl behind is always better than the one in front.
Yes, both leaders getting around the mark and putting something in the head for their skippers, which is often all you can ask for as a skipper.
Yes, exactly right.
This looks like a beautifully weighted bowl again. And slides under.
Yeah.
That is an outstanding lawn bowl.
Yep.
Bowl of the game so far. I've called it early.
You called it early. Geez, second end.
Well, so far it is.
Yeah, well, that's... Tell weight was good. So, Mike, your involvement in bowls, how long, where you at?
I've played pennants for 26 years at the Anguston Bowling Club up in the Barossa Valley.
Okay, Anguston.
Just a hack bowler.
As long as you enjoy the game, that's all that you can ask for.
I enjoy the game sometimes.
Sometimes.
I enjoy winning.
Okay, so the losing part doesn't fall in favour?
No, I often a little bit grumpy for a couple of days after a loss. But I love winning premierships.
Oh, I think we all love winning premierships, but as they said in the Highlander, there can be only one.
I've got 7 of them in my bag, so I'm pretty happy with that so far.
One per year.
Not quite.
Oh.
Picked up 2 last season. That was pretty good. Pretty unique. But enough about me. I'm not interesting to the viewers.
They're sort of dangerous. You're looking at a head like this at the moment. Any hit on Kitty or the bowl, bring that into the open. It's not extremely well protected.
They do have the backest bowl. It's going to be very interesting to see what the skippers choose to do on this end. What avenue would you suggest they might take?
I don't know if he wants to play weight into this, because that on this green is more likely going to kill than it is to go back there.
And of course, with the jack being respotted on the dot, that would give the team currently holding the shot still.
Of course, if you hit that kitty, the shot bowl's likely to move as well. So pace and speed, and where the splash damage and what happens there is going to be the determining factor. So I don't know if either of the skippers want to go under a great deal of weight.
He's got to draw a really close second wood before he can even think about having a shot, wouldn't you suggest?
Yeah, I think you're probably right there, Mike. It's as I said, that head's fairly well open.
We'll see if that unique delivery style helps him in this case. He's choosing to cover the back, which is not a bad idea if he's going to have a shot with his last bowl.
Probably more likely trying to cover the tee, I'd suggest. So the back's already covered. He then had the tee covered. Darryl stopped with his bowl. So, as I said, that ball, that kid is more likely to kill than it is to go into the well, and that's exactly. Oh yeah, that's great bowl.
That's a really good bowl. That's putting a lot of pressure on Mitch now. Definitely playing with intent with this shot. Perhaps a little light.
Thanks, Alex. I like to get those references in there occasionally.
Perhaps if you come up with a movie from the last 15 years, TJ.
Okay. Well, start the bat and away you go. Hey. You can't go past the classics, mate.
No, you can't. I'm not sure if Highlanders qualifies as a classic, though. It was an interesting action movie, but I wouldn't say a classic.
Well, they made more than one, so it can't be too bad.
They made 3 Smokey and the Bandit movies.
Still love that movie. They made several Sharknadoes as well.
That was a crime against humanity.
There you go. Just to prove that wasting film is still achievable.
Another good result there. The Eastern Raiders starting to get a little bit of momentum going. Now 2 zip up after 2 ends. All the pressure now falls onto the Spartans to try and check that momentum.
Yeah, it's just saying when I commentated in the last game, it's fairly easy to drop numbers early in the game. And we said that when the Western Rogues jumped out to a 6-0 lead, and of course the Knights coming back to win that game. So, however, the momentum is something that you want to make sure that you don't let them get away with it too much.
A little bit short on our opening gambit there. Interesting to see what we get from the opposition now.
Well, she won't want it back.
The weight looks really promising. Just cutting the head a little. She's behind the kitty, so at least that's one thing in her favour. That's the shot bowl. Jack high of kitty. Still plenty of room. Vicky Arbon's second bowl coming in now. She's got her line right, but lost the weight.
Chris just looking to change hands, come in. The Open, she only has to beat her own out there. Probably fallen for it a little bit on that hand. Does tend to hold out there. You think it is a little bit more forgiving out there, but it's actually not. You can actually afford to be a little bit narrower. It will hold and bring you into the head.
Possibly was looking to get a little right off her own bowl there. Still, she is holding a couple shots.
Yeah, but again, skipper's getting on the mat. It's probably going to fall into a skipper's game on this one.
Yes.
For this end, I should say, only this end. It is open, and a fair bit of room to draw in. So Mitch Percy will lead it off here for the skippers. 3 bowl pairs. You know, it's got its advantages and disadvantages. We know this commentary when you on it, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing.
The third bowl always helps for correction.
Well, you'd hope so. has demonstrated that just gets a bit clingy out there.
Yes, definitely. The backhand has been the preferred hand of choice by most players so far this game. As evidenced by Darryl Stop coming in looking to get around that green bowl at the front, which he has beautifully, and drawn the absolute shot.
Oh, I think you might have called that a fraction early.
Premature adjudication?
I reckon you did.
Strange, I don't usually have a problem with that.
Thanks, David Ost, teammate of mine.
Don't you love it when they throw you under the bus?
I don't know if he threw me under the bus on that one, but I think he was referencing something else that I'll just chuckle to myself and move right along.
Habit of short bowls, is that right, TJ?
Oh, I think about open heads and skippers getting on the mat, playing to an open head. Might have been where David was heading with that one.
Sounds a little bit guilty in your voice there.
Not me, mate. I'm actually a skipper, so I know what he was referencing. So, well, that's the bowl that got worked. She's signaling there's a couple down there.
Yes, very good reply there from Mitch.
Well, that's probably got it's got the powder. And I reckon he's done a good job of that.
Just a little overcooked.
I don't know. He's dropped that.
No, he has got the shot.
Yep.
We don't quite have the angle to see that perfectly, but yes, he's taken shot with that bowl. Well, hello to Alison Saunders, watching from Karauta Park. She's cheering for the Raiders. Great to see. She's showing a little bit of passion for her team. Apparently that's TJ's wife. Very unlucky lady.
Don't be like that.
Or maybe she is batting above her average.
Oh, I'm not even going to go there.
I've achieved something. I've made you speechless.
Oh, no, I've got a lot of things I'll say right now, but none of them will be pleasant, and I'm sure there'll be letters will be written to the CEO of Bowls SA. Not sure if insulting my wife is probably a good way to go, Mike.
I'm not insulting her. I'm saying she's doing very well. Glenn Wright getting right behind Darryl Stop in this game. Good to hear. Outstanding start there for the Raiders.
As I said in the last game, it was the battle of the leads, and of course it's not letting up in this televised game as well, with Vicky v Chris Tholburn.
No, the games that I've been involved with, the leading has been of the highest quality. It's been great to watch. Chris Thorborn covering the back at there. She's got great line. Just setting the game up. A little bit of sunshine here at Salisbury. So, again, if you are at home and you've got nothing to do this afternoon, don't worry about the footy. The season's nearly over. Come down and watch some bowls. Family fun day at Salisbury.
Well, not much you can do about the footy. I think the Crows start at 4 o'clock. Their season's cooked, and sorry for those Crows supporters, and I think you'll find that the Power may have given themselves a hard task
Let's
to finish
move
off
on.
the season.
No comment.
And of course, Freo helped out immensely by letting Geelong give them an absolute rordering. An absolute hiding.
Rebecca McDonald, go Mitchie. We love you.
Because Mitch Percy's got the fan club.
Yes. Vicky Arbon's got quite an open draw here to their jack this bowl. Having been moved, she's got plenty of room, and she's done it magnificently. It's going to finish just a little under. Again, we're seeing...
Could have been Chris Stolburn's bowl too.
Could have.
Slightly. Could have been. I'd probably favourite was Chris Stolburn's bowl. Of course, the Southeastern Spartans picking up the last end with Daryl Stopp's last bowl, so he gets on the mat first in this case. Probably a couple down. But based on his last end, I don't think that will worry him a great deal.
Judd Percy. Yes, we probably could get Mitch's autograph. Where should we send it?
And yeah, Jaden, thanks. I think that we both refer to the same thing.
My mistake, I'm sorry.
I got out of bed this morning. That was my first mistake. Everything else goes downhill from there.
I think going to bed last night might have been my problem.
It was,
Mitch responding to his fan club there by putting in the shot bowl.
I think there's someone in the near vicinity that might be looking forward to going to bed. Probably going on a 36-hour stretch.
Leave IT alone. He'll abandon us if you mean to him.
Well, that you'll find.
And Judd Percy's watching from Vegas. Hello to those in Brisbane.
I don't know if Mitch is happy with that or not, but he's decided to come and follow it down.
I think I'd be pretty happy with that. Drawn another one. Best bowl of the end so far. Well done, Mitch. Stop playing with a little bit more intent this time. A little bit of weight. Unfortunately, around everything. And finds the ditch.
He's got a couple of options here. He can try and bend around, play on to stop his bowl there, sit it in, go through, flop his own in. He looking that one's one amongst four at the moment. Take it, actually probably work a 5 there if my maths is serving me correctly.
Yes, we'll see how aggressive he wants to be.
I don't think he's aggressive on this one, unfortunately. Yeah, that was probably his intent. He's
Possibly a wasted opportunity.
He was probably about 4 feet short of where he wanted to be, really. But he had the right line. The line was right. The weight. But one of the fears, as I said, on this sort of surface is if he puts that 4 feet on, if it does stick, it does hold, hits Kitty, puts Kitty where he doesn't want it, can actually go against him.
That's right. The movement of Kitty on a surface like this really changes the game. As opposed to playing on traditional grass, you get a lot more movement for any touch on the Kitty.
Yeah, there's some... Yeah, so you're looking on a surface like this one here, but I think that's why they use the heavier jacks, is to try and overcome and compensate for that drag.
I don't think I've ever seen this groundswell of female support for a bowler. Michelle Stoles now. Nice pins, Mitchie. He is the man.
That's what happens when you do uniform selection in summer. There's a lot of people wearing shorts.
But he has got the legs for it, unlike you and I.
He definitely has.
Chris Thorborn just cutting the head a little bit there. Not quite reading this backhand this end. Rebecca Stoles now. He is a hunk. It's all about Mitch at the moment. It's the Mitch Percy show.
Yeah, when you get some feed on him.
The ladies love him. I wonder if they're sisters.
I'm sure they'll tell you.
Something's going on here.
I think it's one of those things in Facebook you can pay for likes. I think Mitch has done that.
Now this is an excellent bowl coming down here. Best so far, that's shot.
Vicky consolidating shot there.
Behind the kitty, just what a skipper wants.
Won't want this one back either. Just needs to break. Yeah.
That's okay. She's in the head in a good spot.
Exactly right. Yeah, it's usable when you're working together in a pair. To have those usable bowls in there, it's it's invaluable.
Yes. Not every bowl has to sit directly on the kitty to be useful.
Makes a fair target for those that can drive.
Sharon Kane, I believe from Riverton, from memory. Perhaps there is a market for a calendar, the Mitch Percy calendar. That's a business option for you and I, TJ.
Well, I don't
Lock
know
it
about that. I generally don't market men's calendars.
If there's
Or
a
any-
dollar,
or
I'll
any-
market
or any-
anything.
Or any calendar, mind you.
I'll market anything if there's a dollar in it.
Like, I think there's some laws pertaining to certain things in workplaces. And
Bowls SA, that could be a real opportunity. Marketing genius.
well, I'll tell you what. Well, a little bit of magic there.
Turned his teammates' bowl in. Another example of working together as a team.
I'd love to have another angle on that because I reckon that nearly worked in for shot. Just watching the replay. Yeah, I don't know. I think that they've still got shot, the Southeastern Spartans.
Hard to move those wooden horses, aren't they?
They are. Never take one as a gift.
Playing with a little bit of caution, that bowl, just covering the back.
So I was mentioning in the last game, there was a real good mix of the regions out on the green, and some of the things that when we're talking and interviewing the players, what excites them about playing. We had Michael Lodge, seeing the juniors coming up, doesn't see a great deal of them, so you get to see him play against them. Someone mentioned about Tony Trelaw, who's happened to be out there at the moment, playing against Plod from Marion. Of course, that's Tony Devlin.
Yes, and the Mitch watch has just gone nuclear. Rebecca McDonald, hands off, he is mine. He just has to keep his shirt on, according to Amanda Percy.
Okay. And come Spartans, you can do it, and do it being two words. That I won't
Carmel
be English
Fletcher,
So going into it, I was talking about the flavour across the rinks here at the moment, Mike. You've got Daryl Stott from Keith. Daniel Greenslade from Riverton. Jack Pryor from Laura. Scott Binns, albeit listed here as Marion's McLaren Vale, I believe, going back there. Tony Trelaw, Lobethal. Dwayne Edwards, Taylor Bend. So real good mix throughout in this game on this ring. And of course on the other ring, we've got Damon Edmonds from Streaky Bay, Ben Harris listed as Cleve. I'm not sure where Ben lives, I don't know if he knows that. Grace Maloney, Arthurton, and of course Andrew Hill playing singles for the Mallee Pirates from Berry. Matthew Freebone from Oyen, Kath Greenslade, Riverton, Lucy Tiller, Balaclava. So right across both of these games,
a great regional mix.
there is a good mix, and people that one bowls community that we talk about, and people getting to know and watch each other and support one another in their game. Real good vibe amongst all the players here.
And a great range of ages too. Grace Maloney, I commentated in an earlier game during the tournament, and she, as member of the under-18 squad, is an outstanding young bowler.
There is a bit of a mix of the under-18s out here today.
Just goes to show that bowls is for people of all ages.
Yep, because Daniel Greenslade is playing in the triples, also a member of the under-18 side.
And John Loza wanting what other games are going to be live today.
What other games? Okay, that's an extremely good question. I actually bring that up in my show midweek, and for the life of me, I can't remember. How was that? Well, I know that Stuart Forbes is commentating, so they're obviously going to be a higher quality commentary than myself.
I wouldn't go there.
I have been led to believe that it's going to be the triples. I could be wrong in that, but I definitely know in the 4 o'clock game, it is the triples, because it's Ben Harris v Craig Mills. I did make mention two of my friends there, but Damon Edmonds, Ben Harris, James Gregory up against Fergus Roundtree, Ben Bowman and Craig Mills in the 4 o'clock game.
Sharon Kane cheering on for Denyon. Extra jelly beans for a good result. Jelly beans always make for a good result. Of course, Sharon's been a loyal follower of the stream throughout the Super League. She sits at home with her cat, Captain Morgan, and watches.
So Vicky taking advantage here, holding one behind, so really good. I'm sure that Daryl Stopp's not too upset about the way that head's formed for him.
No, that's playing out beautifully. Chris Tholborn trying to take that momentum back.
Even if she parks the other two at the back there, it's still going to be a good bowl.
Yes, that's a fairly good result. Skipper can't be upset with that last bowl.
Probably, and more than likely second wood sitting back there gives Mick something to bowl at now.
And of course, with a 4-3 lead on the board, Mitch has got to play with a little bit of positivity and try and extend this lead.
He doesn't want that jack to move a great deal.
Slightest touch of Daryl Stop there.
That's for two.
Another good bowl in the head. Stop, just starting to find his rhythm now.
Critical bowl this first one.
Critical bowl and brilliant bowl. Excellent bowl from Mitch.
Yeah, good call from Vicky.
Playing with a little bit of positive attitude, trying to take that last bowl out of the head, just play it through.
Well, I think she knows the sort of green that this is, that even if she goes shallow, hits her own, then Daryl's bowl's going to stay around the area.
Just not quite at the weight that he needed on that bowl.
Chris seems to be somewhat interested in this and looking to break in.
Mitch Percy putting on a clinic at the moment.
That's
absolutely superb.
That'll be the February shot, I'm sure. I'm sure the way he delivers the bowl on the mat's going to be Mr. January.
Is that because it's going to be warmer?
Yep. Yeah, this is not far away, I might add. Oh,
Good intent from Daryl Stopp. Just didn't quite get the result he was looking for.
Yeah, I mean, Vicky Arbin's bowls would still be somewhat visible from the mat. I mean, you can see it, there's a bit of room for him to swing around on it, so not a lot of damage swinging around there on basically the same bowl. Yeah, a little bit of jack.
If he doesn't cross the line, it'd also be a good result. Just stay out this side.
He's
Playing fairly conservatively.
yeah, look, I think it's funny, you see that a lot. I know that I do that. If you're holding shot, you're a little bit worried about moving that around a bit. You don't want to do all that hard work, take the shot, then give it away by going through 3 or 4 feet.
Yes, curse of playing as a skipper is that you can bowl too well at times and have your team end up hating you.
Yep. I know about hating you.
Oh, trust me, as a skipper, I know that my team often do hate me.
All right, hang on a sec. So Sharon, I'd be a little bit confused. The score to the pairs is on the screen. This is the pairs game. Are you after the triples or the singles? We can give you those anyway. In the meantime, the overall board's 17-8. The triples is fairly close, about 8-7 in favour of the Spartans. And the singles 6-3 in favour of the Spartans, with Tony Devlin against Tony Trelaw.
The game's still locked pretty closely. We're a third of the way into the match. It's going to be interesting to see which team can settle quickest. Trying that forehand again. She hasn't managed to quite settle down on that hand. She keeps fighting it. If she can find it, though, could turn the game.
Look, I think that you're right, but in all fairness, maybe there's a comfort level to.
Farm and the face painting are leaving at 1 o'clock. So
What?
if anyone wants to get around those 2 attractions before they head off, you've got 20 minutes remaining.
So Matt Northcote Bowls SA just told us the petting zoo is leaving at 1 o'clock. I missed out again. Bad luck.
And the hot food and beverages available for the food.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
I thought it was the face painting that you were upset about.
Well, no, I can always get my face painted. Yeah, the llama. Bring the llama over. That's what we need, more llama interviews. Lawn bowls is lacking llama interviews.
A little lamer.
Bring the llama back. Well, she must have heard you, because she changed hands, but
And she's actually fallen up short, but I think the first of these leaders that can take control on that side of the rink could be the one to get on top.
I've managed to signal a special guest to come and join us here, that there's going to be on the screen in the last game of the day, someone that we've commentated about from across the rink. Vicky Arbin putting a real great bowl in there. It's a good way to finish off.
Yes. Just taking control of the head. It's going to be interesting to see if we can get the skippers changing the fortune of this end.
Yeah, the Pirates. We'll do our very best in a sec. In the meantime, Craig Mills, mate, thanks for joining us.
No worries, Teach. Pleasure to be here.
So, Craig, unfortunately I won't be commentating the last game, but we've got you dead set centre on camera, mate. Harris v Mills in the triples.
I feel sorry for you.
Well, I'll be listening to the dulcet tones of Stuart Forbes and watching it from afar, I'd suggest. It could be a fiery one.
Well, if my recent form's anything to go by, mate, they'll win easy.
Of course, Craig played the singles obviously up until today, but it's never been a blowout per se. Power plays can sometimes change that score. How have you felt about the tournament overall?
Oh, mate, it's a fantastic concept. It's just great to have crowds back at bowls in South Australia and see all the colour and atmosphere around, and getting the game live streamed out there to the general public, mate. It's just it's just fantastic for Bowls SA, and they've done a tremendous job organising it.
So, and you know, one of the things that's always been interesting around the fact that a lot of people, and probably yourself included, don't play a lot of bowls through that July, August period. You sort of take that time with family and, you know, pretty much dedicated. You've got the involvement in the state team, obviously your club. Has it all been worthwhile?
Yeah, look, it's we do have a pretty fairly full-on schedule, state boys around the place, but look, to get involved in something like this and try and promote the sport and get more people involved, it's well worth the exercise, and who knows what will come of it, mate. You never bigger and better things, hopefully, and yeah, like I said, just look around and you see the young families and the young kids here, and to actually get to play with and play against some of the juniors and that are coming through the ranks, I'm sure it's only got to be benefit them throughout their playing, for them to get to play with some of the state boys that are out there, and hopefully in the long run we see South Australia winning overall shields and stuff at Ali Shields and everything like that. So that's hopefully the outcome, I presume. So
Daryl stopped just running through the head there, missing everything.
So, Craig, last time you saw a crowd like this at a game that you've participated in?
I would have mainly just our Premier League grand finals, mate. Not a lot else draws a real major crowd. Even our state events now, state finals and things, you don't get these sort of numbers. Like night one here, there was over 400 odd people here. A state singles final, I've been lucky enough to play in a couple. If you had 50 people there in South Australia, you'd be lucky. So to get these sort of numbers and interest, it's just fantastic.
Awesome. Craig, thanks very much for your time. Good luck with the rest of the day and, of course, with the rest of the tournament.
No worries. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Thank you to Craig, very good friend of mine, giving up a bit of his time in the downtime where they like to socialise and just unwind over on the sideline.
Yes, when you're playing and in between games, often you just want to be in your own little mindset so that you can prepare yourself, but these guys have been so generous with their time during the tournament. They come over, they talk to us, even mid-game sometimes.
Yeah, look, and I think for everyone involved that's playing, from players' perspective, that I know, well, fun enough, one young lad opening night when they were here, it was a long day. A lot of the players had to be here for 3 for the uniforms, photos and so forth, that he actually travelled on a bus for 10 hours to be here.
Yes, the dedication of some of these players, I know one in particular, Matt Short from the Northern Knights, has given up a lot of days of work just to be here and involved.
Yeah, well, as I said, we've listed out where people are coming from, and well done to every single player out here that does give up their time to participate in what's been an awesome opening for an event such as this.
And just in its infancy, the first year, it's going to get bigger and better as we go forward. Guys like Matt Northcott really working hard to drive the game in this state.
Well, as I said before, I think that it doesn't really matter if you're there goes the GAN in the background, making sure it's heard. Well, see what tourism in Northern Territory is like, or the number of carriages on this thing that's continuing to go past. Back to that, though, that doesn't matter if you're a volunteer or you're paid. It's the passion that people put in that actually people see that result and can enjoy the result from that effort that goes in. And I think that everyone that's been involved, including the team at Bowls SA, have done an awesome job to get this to where it is now.
Yes, and of course we're unpaid volunteers. We're doing it for the love because we both love the game.
Okay. Yeah, someone lied to me. No, you're dead right, Mike. And of course, to be involved in any sort of function, you know, from the players to the coaches, people like yourself and myself, and through to what really everyone that's here watching. Thank you. It's really good to see people out here.
Yes, we've seen good, solid crowds right throughout the tournament, even when the weather's been terrible. Just shows that people are interested and there is a market for spectators to come and watch high-quality bowls.
Well, the interesting thing about it, and you bring that up, is the fact that, you know, we talk about the 4x4 pennants format that we play in, particularly here in the metropolitan area, and I'm pretty certain you probably bowl something similar where you are at Eggleston. do people want something different? I'm not saying that we should or we shouldn't, but I throw that question out there. You know, do we need to change it up a little bit to try and get a younger crowd into the game?
Yes, it is definitely being looked at, especially in regional areas like where I'm from, with numbers getting harder and harder to get. We're trying to get new people in and change the entire demographic of the sport.
Well, look, I'd say I was heavily involved in cricket through my younger and fitter days, and I'm driving home from games now, and you've finished the game, you've walked off the green, you've had a tiny little chat with your opposition and swapped beverages. You're driving back to your own club, and you drive past cricket fields that have players still out in them in hot. They've been out there since 12 o'clock.
As we were talking, the poster boy Mitch Percy with a brilliant bowl, but unfortunately hasn't quite gone his way.
It fell over at the last minute. Vic Yard went one down and one up. So.
That's another example of bowling too well. Something I don't know a lot about.
I was going to say, I thought you were the professor, mate, because I got no idea about that.
I've heard of it. And Sharon Kane coming in with a champion volunteers. Exactly, it's not just about the people volunteering at this event. Every single club in South Australia and Australia survive on the basis of their volunteers.
It's the backbone of any sports club, irrespective of the sport. You know, it's the invaluable support from those that give tirelessly. Mr. December.
He keeps delivering the goods month after month.
Yeah, that's actually pretty dangerous at the moment, because if Daryl Stopp gets a hold of Vicky Hartman's bowl, they're probably going to drop a 3 here.
See what he can deliver.
Well, he doesn't want to be short. That's the only crime that he's going to have here. Short will kill you, and he definitely hasn't done that, mate. I can tell you straight, that's an awesome bowl. That is sensational.
Delicious. Excellent bowling. Gets him at least 2.
Well, they having a look anyway. 2 it is. Yep.
Great bowling from the skipper there. Daryl Stopp coming through. Maybe auditioning for his own calendar. Bruce Field from Angaston chiming in. Thinks I know how to bowl. You're wrong. You're wrong, Bruce. I just guess. And Sharon wants a copy of the calendar, so definitely we've at least got a few sales.
I've got a smartphone. That saves me from having to buy a calendar.
I'll be setting up a website soon, Sharon. You will be able to get one. Vicky Garben with a beautifully weighted bowl there, sitting jack high. Chris Thalborn just heading around, covering the tee at the back.
Don't know if that was the full intent, but you know the thing about it though is you can see that bowl really not giving on that hand. There's a real line on the green that if you're not in it.
Also an unpredictable wind that will come across the green right into our faces in the commentary position.
Yeah. I can tell you now, Vicky Arben's found it. Two good starters from
that is outstanding. Daryl Stopp looking pretty happy down there. Chris
I don't know if he's going to do
Thalborn.
any backhand spring back flips, but he's definitely not upset with that the start.
We don't want to see any injuries on the green.
We want to be in a safe environment.
Another good bowl from Vicky Arbon. Just another bowl in the head to give Mitch a little bit more to work with. Judd Percy wants to know what gym Mitch has been working out at. We'll see if we can find out for you. That could be in the post-game show. TJ, any chance of you hosting a weekly podcast of the Mitch Percy Show?
I'll tell you what, for the price, if you double my current pay, I'll contemplate it, but, you know, exactly right. So, production team just quickly did the maths for me and suggested I don't need to bring my wallet on the 15th of every month. Well, the crowd definitely hasn't died away here. There's, the one thing about the double header format is that they're playing games 1 and 3, 2 and 4. Look, probably not so bad in a way. Does make for a long day for everyone. As Craig Mills said before, there's a lot of time that these have in their calendar for state events and the state series and so forth. But as I said, it seems to be slowly growing. I don't know what's going to happen when the petting zoo finishes. I think you'll find up there at the moment the Eastern Raiders holding shot.
Yes. Chris Tholborn's last bowl, definitely the one. A little bit of a rub for Daryl Stop there, just took him away from the kitty.
He's going to have to hit that fat with about 2 yards of weight. That's Vicky's bowl or Chris's bowl at an angle.
Oh, not quite.
That's actually probably not what he wanted, to be honest with you. It's actually giving him something to work off of from a line perspective.
Stoppy's got to be pretty happy with the options he's got here.
Well, he doesn't have to control his weight to precision, which is what made this bowl here extremely good. Watch.
Yes.
There it is.
It was always on the cards.
There you go.
But it's great bowling to take advantage of it.
Hey, and I called that.
Yes,
First
well
one,
done, TJ.
First one for the tournament we've managed to call right.
Give yourself a tick.
Tick in the box. So for Sharon going across, we've got the Heisen Comets in the pairs are up 9-4 against the Mallee Pirates, which is Kath Greenslade and Matthew Freebom against Ben Harris.
Mitch
And
Percy
David
trying to weigh up his options on this bowl. It's going to be tough for him to get to with a bit of short wood in his way.
Yep, Heisen Comets 7-5 up over the Pirates in the triples. And Dave Carter proving yet again to be my nemesis, floating in front of that board in the singles. The Mallee Pirates 15-12 up. That's Ash Halls against Andrew Hill.
Mitch couldn't quite get in, hitting one of Daryl Stopp's bowls and deflecting away from the jack. So, another into the Spartans.
That's the train to Darwin.
That one doesn't look as comfortable as the last one.
I'd rather be in the first one. Oh, now we're double stacking.
With the Spartans taking an 8-6 lead after 11 ends, this could be a really tight finish to this game, TJ.
Yeah, well, look, as I said earlier on, it's been real no big blowouts in the televised games, so always good to see those tightly fought-out games.
And as we say that, a great opening gambit from Vicky Arbon there, taking the kitty.
always makes it tough when your opponent puts the first one right on that close.
Chris Tholborn coming down on that backhand side, hanging out a little bit. Finding the ditch, unfortunately, so chance for Vicky to really compound the misery on this end. Little short, unfortunately. Missed an opportunity.
Well, it's definitely interesting here. I know sometimes if you're on a 14, 15 second green and you just push on your bowl that out of the fingers, I think the whole time your brain's going, all I want you to do is slow down. Don't go in the ditch. When you know full well that's where it's going.
That horrible feeling in the stomach when you know that you've just stuffed up a perfect opportunity.
Probably one of these ends right now, I'd suggest, wouldn't be the one where you'd want for the hey, have a Merry Christmas from the Super League. Probably not the postcard you want to be sending.
No, not the best end, but still, if you were the Raiders, you'd be pretty happy. My apologies. If you were the Spartans, you'd be very happy.
I was going to suggest that there's some sort of
My mistake.
sadistic plot you're cooking up there.
Well, if Stoppy gets this, he'll look like a hero.
Well, he's holding one at the moment. Yeah, forehand land onto Chris's last bowl. Hit it, roll it out, try and bring in the third wood. Yeah, it's probably the weight you needed to be.
Yes, I was just thinking the same thing. Lovely weight control, but just a little under.
Yeah, look. What is interesting that both teams are on their power play on this end, Mike.
Real chance for Mitch Percy to grab a big score. What's the advantage of both teams playing their power play on the same end?
Well, I'll tell you what, you called it, Mike. You
Oh,
called it.
Calendar Boy has just pulled off a magic bowl. Taking Kitty back to his own.
July. Yeah, there's probably no other option here.
Playing with a bit of anger.
Ooh.
Takes one out, but still holding three.
Holding two.
Two?
Two. Yeah, he's got his first bowl
Oh.
over there at 10 o'clock.
But
He won't want to fatten this up. He won't want to make it any sweeter, but he wants it to be in the count. Oh, I don't know if that's actually what the doctor ordered. He can get rid of all of them.
That's given
Get rid of all
Daryl
of them.
Stopp a great opportunity.
It's almost like a movie-esque. Last ball in hand. Yeah. He's not going to be short, I can tell you that.
Not as much weight as his last up shot.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to go to my previous comments. It's been said on surfaces such as this, you either draw or you drive.
Yes, that mid-weight shot on synthetic surface is often quite deceiving.
You're playing with a lot of weather conditions and the mat that's deciding to, you got to be in that track. I tell you what, that's an 8. That's an 8 badge right there.
If only. But that's great bowling from Mitch Percy.
4 and 8 overall.
And Sharon Kane, that was the Christmas gift for the December.
So that score goes to 14-6.
Finally blown the game open.
That's the advantage of the power play.
And another great effort from the skipper, Mitch Percy, under pressure.
So what we've seen there, Mike, is you asked about the advantage of both teams going from. The Raiders, in that case, getting a 4, doubling it to 8, but have now nullified one of the power plays of the Southeastern Spartans. So
Yes.
no fear. They've probably got one apiece left now, and if they do it again, well, then someone gets the advantage, and there's no comeback because you've lost that. Not a long way short there. Still can prove to be useful, particularly on a day like this.
As we get a bit of sunshine in Salisbury for the afternoon. Just brought the temperature up about 2 degrees. Quite nice.
0.3 degrees. Oof.
Vicky Arbon, lovely weighted bowl again, just going under.
Great adjustment from Chris Tholborn. Well done.
Yes. Precision bowling.
Because sometimes we need to be mindful that when they bring the mat up on their screen, they're actually not too far from at this end, going this way from where we're talking. So we're also very careful and
discreet.
That we are, yes, and sometimes our one-line gaffes and jokes can not be as funny to others, so we try and mind them the best that we can.
We try and be a little neutral. Jodie Kotz, go Spartans. Where are you from, Jodie?
I would suggest she's a Spartan.
Yes, but there's no specific area for that team.
Fairly certain you'll find that she's a player probably rested today.
Okay.
Stop the game, Carlton in front, David Oz. You're straight to the top of the class. Being a Carlton supporter, I'm not without my fair share of being kicked down. So they obviously just started that game.
That's okay. It'll change very quickly.
It always does.
Jodie Kotz from the Keith Bowling Club. So hello to everyone in Keith. Good strong bowling club down there.
Which happens to be the same club as Darryl, or same town as Darryl Stock.
Obviously why she's on board with the Spartans.
I would suggest it's her region and defending it vigorously, as we should.
Did they travel up in a wooden horse though?
I don't know, but actually the way the regions are done at the moment, you can almost... I was actually going to give some sort of Cactus Everdeen reference. That's a movie made in the last 15 years for him, Mike. It's actually on TV last night too.
No wonder you had it.
It's Darren Stopp, a great bowl. Still holding one to the Raiders though.
Seeing a tighter head this end. Here comes Mitch Percy. Just a little wick and a little touch of the kitty.
He hasn't done too bad. He hasn't done too bad. That's a fairly tight head. Yep. Just a good call from Vicky. In you go.
Not sure exactly who's holding. It's that close. Darryl Stopp coming in on the backhand. He's got a chance to hit that kitty. But not at that width. Mitch is going to have to play the forehand here again. Can he get in there?
Yeah, he really needs to hit. Got to work out what the vision is. So for where, Vicky's standing right in the way there, what we're actually going to do is we're going to get Vicky to ensure that when they stand there, that they don't stand in the way. So you actually can't see.
If he can hit Daryl's bowl, there's a chance at another 4. He's got the weight spot on. He's got the line. Oh, that is
That's very close.
Really good bowl.
Needed to arrive on the other side of that.
Great bowl in the head. Could be very handy. Here we go. Daryl Stop coming in on the backhand, looking to move Kitty across to his bowl.
When the guys are standing up that end, just be mindful the camera's at an angle.
Daryl not quite getting there, not quite getting it done. Another good end for the Raiders. Mitch Percy keeps delivering.
It's right behind you there, but it's at an angle at that end. Just talking to the players in relation to where they stand on the green. Of course, it's their game and they can stand where they want, but if they have a preference of somewhere to stand, we'd prefer them not to stand on the line of the camera. Makes it hard when you're talking about something we're looking at the replay on our screen. Makes it a little bit difficult when you're trying to reference what people at home are looking at, because we're looking at it from the completely different angle, Mike, from where we are.
Yes. The people at home probably only get the one angle, but here we're trying to do it from several angles. It's not that easy. And because we can't move and get around to see exactly what bowl's shot at times, it makes it tough.
Exactly. Of course, we're...
Vicky Arbin coming down now, travelling a little bit fast. Just going to finish a few feet behind the kitty.
You have a much more difficult job. It's worse than radio. Got the right head for radio.
I've done radio. Nothing's worse than the radio I've done. It's another really good bowl from Chris Tholborn there. Working off her opponent. Sitting in for one shot, definitely.
Still around the area and, still useful. As we said, and you mentioned earlier, you hit the jack on a surface like this. Feels like they roll a lot further than they do on grass.
You get a lot of value for your touches on this surface.
As we're about to find out.
As Chris Tholborn delivers another cracking bowl. Toucher sitting an inch from Kitty, right in front.
Well, you know what? Not horrible. Daryl Stock comes down, hits that kitty on the other hand. That kitty's going back to the treasured land. There's sitting 3 back there.
Yes, Vicky's given him that option, but playing that side of the rink has been tough today. We haven't seen a lot of bowls come off. Yes.
So, there's one thing that the calendar man would want to fix. That's Mitch Percy, is the way that head looks at the moment. Just slipping through. The advantage of 3 bowl pairs, Mike.
But again, that's not the worst spot that he could have finished.
Look, as I suggested, Daryl Stock coming down on that hand, and he don't know if he's got the right enough weight to arrive in and actually do what he needs it to do.
Again, as we were saying, it's hard this end on this surface. You can't play that mid-weight shot.
Well, he's got a good reference now. He can be under his first bowl, and he's going to be somewhere near it, or he can go a little bit more direct at it.
And of course, with 2 bowls to come, he's got the adjustment in him. Mitch Percy with a really good spot.
That one beats all the back ones. I just don't know if it beats Daryl Stock's first. This is more. That's just a better weight.
This is what we were looking for.
Yeah, this is a better weight to it. This has got all the promise in the world if he comes in on that.
Works off his own bowl, gives him another bowl in there.
Still not horrible. Actually, can probably change hands. He's got 2 options.
That's correct.
Change hands. If he hits that 3 o'clock, and he can peel that bowl out, because his bowl will move away, but he will be left with 1.
Could just be slightly over the draw on the forehand and only move that shot bowl out 6-7 inches.
Absolutely has. Yep.
Mitch coming in, looking to cover those back bowls again.
Yep.
Which, with the lead they've got on the scoreboard at the moment, is a pretty good idea. Can't afford to drop a big number.
Well, you're not going to drop a 3 back there now. I think that's probably the kid. He'd have to go hard and find that gap.
Very smart bowling.
Yeah, not sure if this has got the weight to do what he needs it to do.
It's not dead yet. Oh, slight touch on the bowl, but didn't have any weight.
Yeah. So he actually hit it where he needed to hit the bowl. Unfortunately, it was coming to. It only had about another 6 inches left to travel in it. Probably needed another 2 feet, 3 feet of travel through. Hit there, would have peeled that out. Sweet.
Yes. Big word if in lawn bowls. If you could have done that. If you and I were better bowlers, we'd probably be out there at the moment.
I don't know if I could be that better, much better. It's physically not impossible, but
really blowing out to a big lead now. The Raiders 17-6 up after 12 ends. So just the 6 ends to go, including this one.
not over. I remember the James Gregory, Scott Thorburn up against Nathan Black, Tyson Wilson of the Southeastern Spartans on this televised ring. Were down in number and they fought back and got a really well played draw overall.
Yes, you can never give up on a game, but at the moment the Spartans are going to have to pull off something special to claw their way back.
Well, the overall board's 32-26 in favour of the Raiders. Tony Devlin's is travelling along pretty comfortably in the singles. They're on the 16th end, he's 4-shot lead. Probably down one at the head at the moment, but fairly healthy bowl going in there at the moment. Markers indicating he's got shot, so... Johnny Nicolai, of course, my skipper in the NBA side. We've travelled to Perth together and Gold Coast, so shout out Johnny, thanks very much. Hold my own on occasion. Of course, I'm usually better later that night when I'm telling you how good I was. So Chris Stolburn just looking to consolidate in, and that's very well done.
The overall score currently, the Eastern Raiders 35 to the Spartans 27.
I think Tyson makes his appearance in the second game today for the Southeastern Spartans.
Chris Tholborn putting the pressure on this end again. Another great bowl sitting just short of the kitty. Mitch Percy coming down, looking to make light contact on Chris's bowl. Or just sit around behind it. Finishing almost jack high, he can work in off that. But so can Daryl Stott, which he's going to try and do with this bowl. Travelling with a good weight. Unfortunately just around, but puts Vicky Arbon's bowl a little bit further back and in a good spot.
Just careful what you wish for, Mike. I think you just got it. I'll let you drive this one.
Okay, I've got the keys. We're joined in the commentary position by...
Sit by the sensible one.
No.
Sit next to him, mate.
Joined by Matt Short from the Northern Knights, who played in the first game this morning, starting at 10 o'clock. Played second in a triples win. How's your day been so far, Matt?
Yeah, good. Did you see my Salisbury slide I had there at one stage? I think I wicked off a bowl about 8 feet down and got it shot. So yeah,
That actually got pointed out to me by your skipper.
I'm sure. Oh yeah. The skip bowled very well too. Actually, as far as
it was actually interesting, Matt. I said it's a real good fight between the leads there.
Yeah.
But I did make mention, and if you go back and listen, mate, you're an odds-on favourite to have one within 12 inches every time. I think you bowled outstanding.
Oh, cheers.
So well done.
It's nice to have a good day every now and then. So thank you. Yeah.
And of course, Matt, representing the Salisbury Bowling Club, he's on his home turf, a little bit of an advantage. But you're also from originally Anguston up in the Barossa Valley.
Yes, yeah. Good club up there as far as hello to anybody that's watching from Anguston. As far as, as far as just watching a bowl come down here from Mitch Percy.
Good effort from Mitch there. Didn't get the result he was after, but again, he's still the glamour player on this rink. We've got a calendar being produced by Mitch. The girls have been commenting on the stream. They all want it.
Right, yeah, Mitch is a bit of a lad, so I don't know what to say about that one. As far as I'm sure he'll be in for that anyway. As far as
it's great to see we're all having a little bit of fun with the players here. But yourself, Matt, the Knights haven't had the greatest Super League so far, but a good result today. Are things starting to build for the Knights?
Oh, definitely with the home ground advantage. I think we're in the 4, I reckon, after this morning's win. So, yeah, we'll take that. And, we certainly know the rinks as far as you might not be able to pick it up at home, or you might have seen this. Rink 1 does play a little bit unusual as far as... but, yeah, we certainly know how it does play. So, yeah, we'll take that home ground advantage any day of the week.
Just to give you a quick update, the Raiders have decided to go with their last power play. So 5 ends to go. It's interesting. We've actually found a lot of the teams holding back. Matt, that power play crucial?
Definitely, as far as and just holding the opposition as well. You just know when they play their power play, you just kind of try and lift just that little bit more as well. As far as what about another idea as far as I've been thinking about is a power play. If you have actually a coloured jack, I reckon that could be quite good for your viewers at home.
It's actually interesting you say that. When the Raiders trained, Steve Grant actually changed the jack from the yellow to the white.
Yep.
For the power play.
Yep.
For the players, so they knew with the noise, because there were a lot of teams out here training.
Yeah.
So I think you're onto something.
Just the spectators as well be able to pick it up. It might be a little bit hard seeing it on the boards there as far as, but yeah, it's just a simple one. I'm sure that. It's a new concept. I'm sure they'll pick up a lot of new things.
I had Scott Tholborn suggest to me after the first round that maybe a team can then do their power play. So 4 times a shot. So instead of using 2 power plays, they use them both on the same end.
Okay, well, that's different. Yeah.
Take the risk. Well, do you risk it? Do you burn both your power plays? But you know what? I think Mike said it earlier in here. It's the launch of year 1.
Yep.
I think the take-up's been overwhelmingly in favour of this format.
It's not only here, TJ. I'm hearing some country areas too are really looking at it as far as, and they're talking about maybe running a bit of a pennant as well, as far as a night pennant, almost adapting it, changing it a little bit as well. So, yeah, certainly out in some of the northern country areas, I think it's great for bowls.
It's interesting you're talking about the change in that. Look, let's look back at traditional cricket. It was Test match. You played it over 5 days, win, lose and draw. It evolved into what we know as one day. We've got T20, different formats of the game. And as people's lifestyle changes and I think the world in which we live in changes, maybe our game needs to evolve as well.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt you there, TJ. Just some great bowling from the leaders. Vicky Arbon with the opening salvo, having a bowl sitting just behind the kitty. Chris Tholborn coming down, hitting the jack, but unfortunately hitting it onto Vicky's bowl and Jack stayed.
Well, and not followed up. But I tell you what, how inconvenient. We're having a good chat there. Got interrupted by a game of bowls.
Just not right, is
So,
it?
Matt, you think that there is a need for our game to evolve with the changing lifestyle of the people that play it and the young kids coming up?
Oh, definitely. I've sseen guys probably my age that have got young kids, and some of them, struggling for the Saturday pennants. There's a few little things I'm sure that will be looked at as far as with maybe a night pennant and maybe getting people into bowls with that as well. As far as it's all positive things for bowls that Bowls SA have taken on, I think. So
Well, we had Sean from Bowls Victoria over here last Friday night. We actually had him in game 1 and interviewed him. They were specifically over here to view the event. Make no bones that they were actually going to start up something in Melbourne, very similar to the concept we've got here.
Yep.
And while we were just talking with Matt Short there, Mitch Percy, the calendar man, taking one of Vicky Arbon's bowls out with an upshot.
I think you'll find that was actually Chris Tholborn's last bowl that she did that with.
Sorry, my bad. Distracted by having a celebrity in our midst. But of course, it is this morning in the triples, Luke Pettersmar coming to the fore as the skipper. It was the Luke Pettersmar show, wasn't it?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, Luke's one of our quality bowlers. Amongst many, we've picked up some good recruits here as far as this year. So we're very excited. The pennant season's just around the corner. So looking forward to it.
Not to pump Salisbury up too much, but you guys are very excited for the upcoming season, aren't you?
Definitely. So we'll let our bowls do the talking, I suppose. So thanks, guys.
Thank you very
Thanks
much
very
for your
much,
time,
Matt.
Matt,
Cheers.
and good luck for the rest of the Super League. Matt Short from the Northern Knights just leaving our commentary position.
And for those, of course, tuned in during the first one, that the Western Rogues did jump them at the start of the game, but, called it early. There's plenty of ends to fight back, which, again, testament to the fact that you never throw the towel in.
The viewers on the live stream still can't get enough of Mitch Percy.
So I think there's definitely something there.
He could be the new face of Bowls SA.
That's out of my control. Vote with your feet.
And the crowd hasn't diminished at all here today after the end of the first game. I think it may have slightly built for the 12 o'clock time slot.
The petting little zoo was the draw card.
The petting zoo, yes, it's been very popular. It's still there. And I think they're just starting to pack them up now. Unfortunately, there goes the alpaca.
There goes the alpaca, so I miss out.
The IT guy's joke's just gone out the door.
If they were truly trained, you just lead one to where you want and the rest should follow, but we can't get that done with lawn bowlers, never alone animals. So the overall board, Eastern Raiders 37, the South Eastern Spartans 32, so still pretty tight. The triples 12-13 now in favour of the Eastern Raiders, coming down onto the 16th end with the Raiders holding shot, holding 2 now, thanks to Michael Lodgebowl. The singles starting to break away, 13-7 in favour of the Spartans of Tony Devlin. Really unusual coloured bowl that Tony Devlin uses for the South Eastern Spartans. Actually black.
He must be a lair.
Yeah, he's very outlandish, and anyone, of course, that knows him probably knows you don't get many words from him. Very reserved sort of a bowler.
And back to the televised rink. The score 17-8, so the score really starting to break open for the Raiders on this rank. And we've just been joined in the commentary position by Luke Pettersmar, the skipper from the Northern Knights win this morning. How are you going, Luke?
Yeah, good now that I've finished. It was good to get a win under the belt. So hopefully we can get another one in an hour or so. It'd be good.
And we were just having a really good chat with your teammate Matt Short, who praised you coincidentally. But we were talking about the evolution of bowls in South Australia and events like this becoming more and more common throughout the regions.
Yeah, I think this is like a great concept that the bowling club has put on here at Salisbury, but big help's come from the Salisbury Council as well. They're really behind us here, so yeah, it's been really well supported by all the people again today, so, and lots of kids have had a lot of fun with all the animals, so yeah, it can only get better from here, I reckon.
Yes, and of course the Northern Knights sitting in the 4 currently after today's good result. You've got to think you're a real chance to make some noise once the finals start.
Yeah, it should be. We've placed pretty well, I reckon, because whether or not the Eastern Raiders can get up here, that might be a really crunch game for us in the afternoon. So maybe the winner out of that might make the finals, I reckon.
Yes, the Raiders certainly looking pretty good at the moment, holding a 4-shot lead overall. But in the pairs game that we've been calling, they are really starting to open up a little bit of a gap.
Well, that's the singles now completed with Tony Devlin over the top of Tony Trelaw, picking up a 2 on the last end. So you'll find that score is actually tightening on their overall board right up. And of course, here in the pairs game, they're holding a 3. So things can change quite quickly, as we know. From the Saturday pennants, it happens just as quick here in the Super League as well.
Yes.
Luke, I mentioned while I was commentating your first game that the Rogues got out, the Lepcha got out, but I did say during my commentary that wouldn't fuss you. Plenty of ends left in the game, and you guys really fought back well. So well done, mate. But early in the piece, did that faze you at all?
Oh, not really, because we got off to a really rough start, and I thought, well, it's just a matter of time that we all 3 of us click together and we start stringing a few ends together. Then I thought, well, if we get too far behind, I always got a couple of power plays behind us as well that we could have used. That if they had got out to a bigger lead. So yeah, no, it seemed to be always in hand, I thought, but yeah, it's just a matter of my front 2 coming good, and they did after the first couple ends, and yeah, we
exactly
just
right.
ran away with it then.
We actually got a moment to talk to your lead during the game, where I think that she probably started off the first 2 or 3 ends behind the other lead, I'd suggest, but then she came back really well and probably threw him off his game a little bit, because he did go away from the head, gave you guys a little bit of room to move in there. Yeah,
that's dead right, TJ, because basically what I said to her on the crossover on the 3rd end, I said, look, even if you can get your 2 bowls sort of a yard behind, it's going to help both of us, like me and Maddie, play a few shots and we can get ourselves back into the game. Yep. And that's what she started to do, started getting close and a yard behind, and gave us a real good start then.
It was interesting, and obviously talking to Matt, but during there, and I said, go back and listen, that any time that you sort of looked like you were in a bit of danger, that Matt really came the latter part of that game. Matt was putting that bowl in there, giving you a lot of options. Yeah, that's what I said to Matt too. So look, just if you can't get shot, just keep giving me a couple of second woods, and eventually, things will work, and start moving jacks, and that, and we'll start getting a few numbers, and just happened on our power play. We got a 3, and that goes into 6. There was one end though, mate, I remember distinctly that you were about 4 down, and a lovely draw bowl straight in and parked it in. Yeah, it's always good to draw them right towards the end of the game, them crunch bowls, and hopefully I've still got a few more left in me, I hope, still to go, so hopefully we can make the finals, and home ground advantage might be a big thing, I think, coming into the finals, so no, it'll be good. Well done, mate. You played really well in the first game, and look, I reckon that the next game, I think Forbes, you can probably commentate a little bit from where he's sitting. Good luck, mate.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Cheers.
Thanks to Luke Pettersmar from the Northern Knights. As we see the Spartans just grabbing several on that end. Some really good bowls from Darryl Stopp to bring the gap back.
Yeah, I'm happy with anyone, mate. You can even talk about that. It doesn't even have to be for your team. Someone that gives you a shit. Target environment over there. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So we're just having a chat with Luke, of course, and see if we can't get another one of his teammates over here because, look, you know, it's a target-rich environment out here of people to talk to, different experiences and different look at the game.
Absolutely, and the Raiders now holding a 10-shot lead in this pairs game with just a couple of ends to go. It's starting to look very much like a Raiders game.
Yeah, look, I never like to call it too early, you know, especially when you've got these cheeky little power plays floating around. Mike, you can definitely, we've seen an 8 getting taken. Obviously a four shots and then double that up to 8 really changes the game.
Chris Tholborn really putting the hammer down now with a beautiful first bowl.
As when you do have an 18-8 lead, that's exactly where you want your lead to put their first bowl. Put the pressure right on them.
It is good when you can just put your foot on the opposition's throat and really put them under the hammer.
Yeah, look, just keep the pressure where it needs to be.
Peter Stoll's now requesting any chance for an interview with the great man himself, Mitch Percy.
Oh, we'll see what we can do.
We will do our best.
How's it? Mitch. Mitch is
another
Mitch is
cracking
currently
bowl
what the other,
from
Chris
Chris
Tholborn.
Tholborn. And Toucher just takes the kitty back, holding 2 presently.
There you go, mate. Want to do an interview?
Okay. Now being joined in the commentary position by Yvonne from the Northern Knights. Good afternoon, Yvonne. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. And yourself?
Very well, thanks. Good result for the Knights this morning. Really starting to get a little bit of momentum going as a team, starting to produce some good results.
Excellent for all 3 ranks to have good wins today, and we're going to come out strong in our next game as well.
And yourself personally, tell us a little bit about your history.
I've been bowling for a number of years, always at Malala. I enjoy the social aspect, the competition. So, yeah, I mean, this is a great competition, and it's a different aspect. Quick games, always good.
Excellent. And personally, how have you found playing in the Super League? Is this something that you're finding is helping your game and you're learning a lot?
I just think it's bringing, because you're playing with Metro as well as we've got a lot of country bowlers that don't ever come down to the Metro to play, you're actually experiencing a different type of competition and that. So, and also having a mixed gender competition, I think it actually enhances bowls for everyone. Yeah.
Absolutely. It gives people a different look at the game, and sometimes men's and women's bowls, they play a different style in some areas. So it really gives you a chance to play a different type of game.
Oh, it definitely does. I mean, you've got some pretty big drivers that are down here. But, you know, sometimes they have to pull it back and come back to draw bowling, because often a draw bowl will beat a heavy drive.
Sorry, Yvonne, I have a quick question. We were obviously we're streaming the game here in front of us, but I actually spoke about yourself and Kane and your game, you know, against Ash Close and young Studham.
Yep.
You were down 9-8. I'm talking about this game. I look over and it was like 21-8 or 21-9 at 1 second. It obviously had a great power play in there.
Oh, yeah.
Jump up like that. We're talking about that, but really, what you're on an atmosphere, and people have said about, you know, they haven't seen such and such bowl and this person. For yourself, has it been really, I guess, motivational, or you're lifted in the environment of the people around here?
Oh, I'd say our team as a whole, we've got a great bond. we've come from different backgrounds, like some of us didn't know each other. But because we play so well together and get on so well together, I think that's purely what's going to give you a great advantage. And, like playing with Kane, he's so relaxed, easygoing. If you have a bad end, it's not the end of the world. And
I haven't had the pleasure of playing with Kane. I've had the pleasure of bowling against him. But one thing I will say about Kane is obviously he is very professional, very focused on what he does. But he's an absolute brilliant motivator in a game. Very vocal, very positive with his players, no matter what position the team is on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
But I just noticed out there that he was you've worked very well together.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, to me, we were 8 zip down, but it was only just chip at it one bowl at a time, and because we spoke each end, it was always positive. It's like, don't worry, the next end is ours, and don't go down on yourself if it's you're down, and that. So that, I think we just kept chipping away at it and putting pressure on them, and that certainly changed our game around. So
and well done.
Yeah.
As we were just talking with Yvonne there, another 2 picked up by the Spartans. Some great bowls by the skipper, Darryl Stopp. First of all, taking out one of the Raiders' bowls and then drawing another shot himself.
Going to prove you never give up.
That's right. So
Well, thank you very much, Yvonne. It's been great to see you bowling, but it's been also great to talk to you and give you your side of the game to the viewers.
not a problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good luck for the rest of the tournament for you and the Knights.
Thank you.
We're nearly finished.
Yes, really getting down into the clinches now. The 15-minute warning was given shortly ago by Matt Northcott. Vicky Arbon just slightly short with that bowl. Chris Tholborn now looking to fight back after a couple of light ends for the Raiders.
Up and back.
Or backing up. Good correction here from Vicky. Lovely bowl.
Well, the Southeastern Spartans have got up on the board. It's their power play.
Oh, and Vicky putting in the perfect bowl for a power play. Slightly behind the kitty.
Yep. But not to be affected. I'll tell you what, that gave away a lot more than I thought it was going to.
Vicky now trying to put another bowl in, take full advantage of the power play.
Just for those at home, to let you know, after the 15-minute warning, the Hyson Comets are 56 against Mallee Pirates 36 on the overall board.
And currently in this match, the Raiders are 40 to the Spartans 38. So very tight. As Chris Tholborn's bowl comes down. Unfortunately a little short, but it's going to close that backhand option off. Be interesting to see what option Mitch Percy takes this end. Try and cut down this potential reward for the Spartans on their power play.
Yeah, it's probably looking like they're holding, definitely holding one. A bit difficult to see the angle of the other bowl to see if that's two or not. So this is the end where they really want to get a big count going to the last end.
Darryl Stopp unfortunately going through the head there into the ditch. Here comes Mr. Calendar himself, Mitch Percy. He's got a lovely weight. Gets a little slide off Vicky Arbon, and that would be second wood there, so he's cut it back to 1.
Which is probably enough at the moment.
Wouldn't be unhappy with that at this stage, but he's still got 2 bowls to do his magic. TJ, Christine Crabb would like you to explain the power play for her, please.
Okay, well, thank you, Christine. So you get 2 power plays a game. They can be used at any end. They can be used at the same time. Each team can use theirs at the same time against each other. So if you happen to get shot, the number of shots you get on a power play are doubled. So it can turn a 4 or it can turn a 6 into a 12. So valuable to use at the right time and depending on how you're feeling.
So earlier we saw the Raiders use their power play and pick up a 4 on the green, so they were credited with 8 shots. So that can really change the game very quickly.
Well, it's critical if your team's in or you're in singles and you're feeling good and you've got the rhythm. That's probably the time to use it.
Darryl Stopp trying to draw a second bowl. Unfortunately, just found the outside of Mitch Percy's first shot.
It's not a great deal of distance away.
Oh,
he's ran
brilliant bowl.
Nah. One which doubles to a 2, 18-12. So reality is the best we're going to get here today is a draw.
That's right, but that's a huge fight back from the Spartans, who were looking like they were in a big hole down by 10 not that long ago.
Yeah, so pretty much all over. Eastern Raiders, the triples combination of Chris Flavel yet again running the big win.
And we see a bit of strut going on over there.
Winning feeling alive.
Look at that strut. That's impressive.
That's 17-13 to the Eastern Raiders in the triples.
He's got a bit of swagger, hasn't he?
He has. And the overall board is 40-42. So, look, valuable in this one with only 2 shots overall in it. So you'd really, for the Raiders, much end win for both teams concerned.
And Sharon just wondering if either of these teams have a power play remaining.
No.
No, they've used all of theirs at this stage, so we're just seeing standard scoring for this end.
Last end, no holding back.
And Chris Tholborn throwing down beautiful opening bowl.
Yeah, lovely start by Chris. So the overall board is correct. So the team on the boards have actually got that one dialed right into where it needs to be. So it's all on this end for the overall, which is of course what all the players are here for. There's not much glory in a personal rink win if your whole team goes down, and you've got the opportunity to win it overall.
And Chris Tholborn coming to the fore with another beautiful bowl. Finding her own, or just under it, holding 2. There's still plenty of room for Vicky Arbon.
Of course, majority of the players here have played in pressure games, understand what it takes for those bowls to be in the area. They've all trained, and we're coming into the sharp end of the tournament at the moment, where all of these wins are definitely going to count.
Chris Tholborn with her final bowl of the match. Looks like she's put in another ripper.
Like champagne, leave the best to last.
She's definitely given Mitch Percy a lot to work with on this end. Mitch should be pretty happy at this stage.
Just joined in the commentary by Stuart Forbes, who'll be taking over very shortly.
The beak is back.
We've got it. We've got the crowd warmed up.
What a nice, easy, flowing game. Go Raiders.
Because Steve Grant walking past and said something about Spartans.
I heard he's got money on them.
Oh, don't do that. Oh, don't do that. What a coup that was. Oh, yeah, please put your pens away, people. Getting a wry smile from him as he walked off.
Daryl Stott just a little bit short there.
Well, it's actually
Currently 3 down.
Well, I'm going to give you an idea right now, Mike. He's only got 2 bowls left in his hands, Daryl Stott. He's got nothing past the head. And Mitch has drawn in. They're holding a 4.
And this,
he needs to make a change here, and a big change.
Yeah,
he
the
needs
Spartans
to get those front bowls in.
2 shot down on the board overall, so he can't afford to drop.
Well, he can't be
anything.
short, and he can't be narrow.
He's neither. This is a really good looking bowl. He's cut some out at least.
Well, the 1 down, so he's done the job. This is where Mitch definitely can't be short of the head.
Mitch can definitely afford to take the kitty back because the Spartans have nothing behind.
He's done it, you know.
If he punches that is a brilliant bowl. The calendar sales have just tripled.
No, they haven't. No, they haven't. I'll tell you what, this is a big bowl. This is a big bowl.
Daryl stopped nervous. Wry smile on his face. He's coming down to check the scenery.
I do stand corrected because Mitch Percy still has 1 bowl left to go after this. So big bowl from the skip.
Not a lot of options here for Daryl because they don't have a lot in the head.
Well, they've got, in all fairness, mate, they've got 1 in there.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're dragging in a 3-foot short bowl, which we all know it's a very cruel game. This game we play when it wants to be.
But if he plays with weight and takes his own bowl, they could be 4 to 5 down.
Well, you could almost guarantee Mitch Percy. Well, depends. He doesn't have anything to play for in his last. Will he play for it? You'd think he would. He'd try and take it out. There's nothing back. He's got 5-second woods.
We know that Mitch will do it for his fans.
I wouldn't have thought.
For Mitch's legion of fans watching on the stream, he will try and do it.
Tells the story.
Daryl coming down.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh.
Oh no.
That's the...
Rip it out.
That's
Mitch, rip it out for Mr. August.
exactly what we said that Daryl didn't want to be, short and narrow.
Yeah, they reckon he's a calendar boy.
Oh, he totally is. You can see him in a lumberjack attire.
Oh yeah. Woodchucker chuck. Oh.
He's playing with enough weight to get the job done. Could this be the Glamour Bowl?
Oh, it's got interest on it. Oh.
No, unfortunately not quite.
So the Raiders take a one-shot win overall on the big board, 18 to 13 in the pairs.
Great win from Mitch Percy and Chris Tholborn.
So guys, overall on the big board, as we said, it's 42-41 in favour of the Raiders. So sneak across the line there. So well done. And look, on behalf of Mike and myself, thanks for tuning in. And of course, the reins and the seat will be taken by the great man Stuart Forbes
TJ,
himself.
just for a moment,
thank you.
We've just grabbed Mitch Percy, the People's Champion. We've had a lot of people commenting today. Apparently, we need to start a calendar.
Oh, I don't know about that. I bet you there's a lot of dribble on there.
We've had a lot of ladies chiming in. They want to see the Mitch Percy calendar. We're going to make it happen.
Oh, when's this happening? When's this going to happen?
Next year. You're getting no money out of it. I'm taking it all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds good. No, it was a good win, that game. We needed that.
Some great bowling from yourself. And Chris, you've got to be pretty happy with the way you fought back there.
Yeah, no, I think we fell asleep there towards the end, a couple ends, but they started to pick up, and yeah, pretty happy with that result.
And great overall win for you.
Yeah.
Got to be pretty happy.
I think they're top, I'm pretty sure, so yeah, very good. Now we just got to go out again and try and get them these points.
Well, best of luck for the next contest, mate.
Thank you very much.
And I hope you go very well for the rest of the tournament. And that's all for the 12 o'clock time slot for the round 5 of this edition of the Adelaide Super League. Next up, Stewie Forbes will be commentating the 2 o'clock game.